Yeah, it's equivalent to about 44,000 naira, and that's what you're making in a day. For as long as that contract still holds, that is the amount you're going to be paid. You cannot make more than that per month. If you would agree with me, only there are levels to improvisation. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, you are most definitely welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for many that have subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, and if you are yet to subscribe, click on the subscribe button down below and just tick the bell notification beside it so you get notifications each time I upload a new video about everything beauty, lifestyle, vlogs, and nursing, of course. So in today's video, I'm basically going to be talking about the differences in nursing in the UK and nursing in Nigeria. It's not a kind of condemnation whatsoever. I'm just going to talk based on my experience so far and what I have noticed to be different in practices in both countries. So if you want to learn more about that, do definitely keep on watching. Right into the video. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is conducive environment. Basically in the UK, the environment is more conducive for us to practice as nurses, and I feel like there are so many equipments, there are so many instruments that you come across that you've just heard of or you've just seen pictures of while you were in nursing school and you've had no experience whatsoever of using it or of coming across it in real life. I believe that there are so many opportunities for that here in the UK, and you are able to see everything that you have learned, or you are able to see like basic equipment or basic instruments that you have learned and you have heard about. Another thing I'm going to be talking about, procedures. There are so many procedures that while we were in nursing school, like while we were in school, the only thing that we were able to do then is just see pictures or see videos of such procedures, watch online on YouTube, and apart from learning in classes, we have no opportunity to see how those procedures are actually carried out. But in the UK, there is more opportunity for that. You can easily see, and besides, even if there is opportunity for that in Nigeria, which I feel there wasn't in my own hope, because even if they want to carry out those procedures, there are no instruments, there are no adequate equipment, they have no supplies of those things that would be necessary for them to carry out such procedures. We just manage, like we manage everything we have. And there is this thing we always say in nursing school: as nurses, you should be able to improvise. But you would agree with me, only there are levels to improvisation. There are some things that you have to do with the actual equipment or with what it's actually meant to be used for, but because you don't have it, you have to improvise, and therefore your results might not be as accurate as if you use the actual equipment. So basically, procedure wise, and relating what you have learned in in theory to practical, the opportunities. One other thing I've noticed to be entirely and totally different from the nursing practice and the experience and I had in Nigeria before coming over here is paper documentation, which is highly and very common in Nigeria. Here I got to acquaint myself with using computers for documentation of everything I do, regardless of how little or regardless of how small it is. But back in Nigeria, all we have was paperwork. We had to do all our documentation in notes, in paper, which I feel is not very good, in the sense that paper documentation can easily get lost, many things can easily happen. If there is a kind of fire incident, your documentation for years is lost, and what you have to refer back to, nothing. But if with the computer-based documentation, which I've tried to acquaint myself with over here, I think it's a really good improvement. And it's quite easy to document, and I feel like it's actually faster. And there are even some kind of computer based, some system documentation in which you have reminder for everything. I'm going to give an example. there is this particular application that we use at my workplace, and you know, there is a kind of timer or a kind of reminder at the exact time that you have to do something. So it's remind, even if you forget, you get to see the reminder, you get to see that, oh, I have not done this, oh, I have not. We are humans and we are very liable to forget to do some things. So that's why it is there. It kind of reminds you that, oh, I have not done this thing, and you immediately tap on it and you document whatever you have to do. It makes life easier compared to paper documentation that you have to write and write and write and write. Yes, and write. Yeah. So guys, before I proceed, I'd just like to chip in this question. What is your reason? Like, why would you like to migrate to another country? That's a rhetorical question, obviously. If you are to ask so many Nigerian nurses or so many Nigerians generally, why would they like to migrate to somewhere else? The highest answers you are going to get is for a better quality of life, like to have a more comfortable life, to have a better future, to make more money, and you know, all of those things. Even though as nurses, why we want to migrate is, you know, to feel or to know how things run in another country, to have an experience of practice in a very different place apart from where we were trained. That's like one of the other reasons. But another reason is we want to make money, right? That's not a lie. Like, it's a very common thing. We want to make money, we want a better quality of life for our family, for children, for, you know, people surrounding us. We have some people that haven't stepped out of their home country or haven't had a taste of somewhere else. They've been in their home country and have been doing so well in nursing profession. They've been practicing really well, and you know, their life is okay. But I mean, we are different and we have various reasons why we want to migrate from our country of birth to another country to practice. But if you really think about it, nurses want to migrate to another country is obviously their country is not offering them the best it can in their profession, and they have to look for greener pasture, better environment to practice, a conducive environment to practice, somewhere they can get rewards for the job they are doing. Another thing I'm going to be talking about in the differences is cash, money wise. Yes, so the salary or the wages, as the case may be, is actually very different. I mean, the difference is clear, guys. The difference is clear. In Nigeria, if you are going to be talking about the amount of money you make, it's usually paid monthly. It's based on your monthly pay. In that way, you don't even know the amount of money you are being paid per hour, or you don't even know the exact amount of money you are being paid for the job you have done. You only get paid per month, and I feel like it is fixed. In this month you cannot make more than this. That's the fixed amount of money. If let's say during your interview now, and you are told the amount of money you are going to be paid is 60,000 naira per month, there is there is nothing that can change it. Believe me, that's the fixed amount of money you are going to be paid for as long as you work with them. Although there are some nice ones that if you work with them for over 2 years or for 1 year, I don't know, they tend to increase your pay. But for as long as that contract still holds, that is the amount you are going to be paid. You cannot make more than that per month. But here in the UK, you are being paid hourly. In the sense that if you work, let's say if you work 8 hours in a day, we are being told the amount of money you are going to be paid per hour. So let's say you are being paid, let's say £12 per hour, and you work, let's say 8 hours in a day. That's £12 times 8. That's equivalent to £96 in a day, and that £96 is equivalent to about 44,000 naira. Yeah, it's equivalent to about 44,000 naira, and that's what you're making in a day. See, guys, as young nurses, as recently qualified nurses with about like within 5 years and below experience in Nigeria, it's really hard to see companies that want to pay you over 100,000 naira. It's like really hard. Even some private companies offer you 35,000 naira, as a registered nurse, as a newly qualified registered nurse. This is not encouraging in any way. It is not encouraging. You don't want to do that, but because we have no choice, like we just want to work, we want to practice, we want to see what we've been learning, we don't want to stay idle for a very long time. We have no choice than to take such job opportunities. There are no other choices for us, so we just have to take it and, you know, work with what we have. But here, like, there is no fixed amount of money you can make in a month. You can decide that, okay, this month I'm going to work I'm going to work every day for the whole 4 weeks. I'm going to work Monday to Friday for the whole 4 weeks, and you are going to get your pay. You are going to get your salary according to the number of hours you have worked. Although there are slight restrictions, but I mean, it's still manageable compared to Nigeria, where the salary is fixed. It cannot be changed. You don't know how much you are being paid per hour. You just work, and at the end of the month you get your pay. That's it. Here in the UK, the more money you make, the more bills you pay. Do you want to know why? It's because human needs are insatiable. The more money you make, when you make let's say £2,000 as a nurse in a month, I'm not saying that's a static amount of money, or I'm not saying that's the amount of money you're going to make. I'm just using it as an example. So if you make that amount of money in a month, you know, oh, I want to get this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that, and all of that. But then in Nigeria, it's like there are no much bills to pay compared to here. Okay, for example, TV license. I only heard that, like, I've been hearing it, but I only got to know what it's mainly about when I got a TV license. Who cares? Like, here you pay TV license, you pay for council tax. So the more money you make here, the more bills you have to pay. But guys, there is one thing that I feel like is a general thing, is a similarity as nurses all over the world. What is our aim? What is our goal? Our aim is to take care of patients, is to care for them, give them the adequate care they need, both physically, psychologically, I mean in every aspect, no matter how little it is. That is a very common similarity among nurses all over the world, no matter which country you are coming from, no matter where you are. It's a common thing. One last thing I'm going to just kind of chip in is that here you see results for the work you have done. You see results for the hard work, for the energy you put in your work. But in Nigeria, you don't see such rewards. I'm really sorry to say, but that's the fact. You don't see the rewards. Like, you are not appreciated. In Nigeria, as a nurse, you are not appreciated. It's very rare before you can see like people actually appreciating you as a nurse, doing your work and all of that. You are not appreciated. You don't see results for what you have done. One of the results I'm talking about is money wise. You work and work your heart out without seeing adequate results, without seeing anything to show for it, without having enough money for what you have done. But here, like, you work, you know you're working really hard, but on the other side as well, you see the results, and that's why you're encouraged to do more work. That's why you're encouraged to do your work adequately. It's a normal thing to want to do your work adequately, but then if you are given rewards, or if there are benefits coming along with the job, you put in more effort, knowing that, oh, I'm doing this and these people are appreciating. So you obviously want to do more. You obviously want to put in your all for that job. That's just the irony of it all. So yeah, that's it guys, we've come to the end of this video, and that's the little I've been able to notice. That's the little things I've been able to pinpoint in the differences in the practices here, and you know, in the practices in Nigeria. So if you have more opinions, or if you have experienced similar things that are different in your home country and migrating to another country, please do definitely leave a comment in the comment section, and you know, let's all learn from your experience as well. So yeah, that's the end of this video, and if you haven't subscribed and you watched up till this point, please make sure you do not click out until you have subscribed. If you don't, I'm coming for you. So yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. Please do make sure you like, comment, share and everything. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.